So today we're going to select this curtain wall and isolate it in our view. We will learn how to modify the shape of the mullions, the profile of the mullions. So anytime you add a curtain wall in the model, all its elements, the curtain panel and the mullions, are pinned. You can see this pin over here. So in order to work on this mullion, we need to unpin it. You can click on this pin to unpin, or click again to pin it. Now we will have the mullion name. So let's go ahead and edit type and duplicate a new mullion type. And let's call it mullion type 1 or mullion 1 type. So here's my new mullion. The default mullion that comes with Revit, it has a specific dimensions. It has thickness 150 millimeters. So basically let's change it, for example, to 30 centimeters cm. You want to try that? Okay, so by changing the thickness to 30 centimeters and you hit OK, it will become deeper. Okay. The next thing, you see this width 1 and width 2. What is width 1 and width 2? See where my mouse is? Width 1 is half of the width, and width 2 is the other half. The program divides this size of the mullion like that because you remember the curtain grid line is always in the middle, right? So for example, if I go to width 1 and I make it 40 centimeters and I hit apply, let's watch the thickness, how it's going to change. It increased to the bottom. Okay, let me try it, and then you also try it, and I'll make sure that you all know making the step. So if I change the width 2, then it will increase from the top. So the width 1 and width 2 has to increase uniformly. Okay, so therefore let's change width 2 to be, for example, I'll make it very thin, 10 centimeters and 10 centimeters, and keep it like that. I'll make it very thin, 2 cm. By the way, in Revit you can type the actual unit, 2 millimeters, 2 mm, and it will know that it's 2 millimeters. 2 meters is 2 m. Okay, so now we'll go to the same new mullion, go edit type, and you notice that the default profile is set to rectangular. So there is a curtain wall mullion profile family. Okay, if you design this shape of the profile, you can load it into the mullion. Right? So we're going to work on a new one. We'll go to the Revit R icon. Yeah, and you have each mullion, and inside it you have a profile family that looks like a blade, it looks like a long screen, sunscreen. So we'll go to new family. And we want to find the metric profile mullion. Select mullion profile, hit open, and now the family editor will open. I'm typing WT in my keyboard for window tile, WT. It's a shortcut to tile the windows. So as you can see on the left side we have the family editor, and you're familiar with the interface of the family editor. The family editor is really like a smaller interface of Revit. It doesn't have all the features. Every family template comes with some features. For example, if I had opened the door family template, I will find some modeling tools like sweep, extrusion. But here, basically the user will draw the shape of the new profile and then load it to the Mullion. Here we see the reference planes. These reference planes, consider them our grid lines, horizontal and vertical. Right, let me draw a shape and wait for me. You can do that later. But if I draw a shape like this, like that, and then I will save. So let's save the family of the profile. Let's call it profile or prof number 1 or A. Then the user will load this profile family into the project. This is like just when you are inside the project. You know, when you go insert and load family, it's the same thing. It just allows you to load the profile into the project. Nothing happens. Now the profile family has been loaded into the project. Let's go to this Mullion and go to its properties and switch the profile and assign the new profile A or prof A and hit apply. Okay, so you can see that it changed to the new shape. Profile يعني section, right? So notice at the beginning I just did a general shape, okay, just to know where is the front face or the back face of the Mullion. Because sometimes the Mullion, the curtain wall is facing this way or this way. It's hard to tell where is the front and where is the back. So what do you think here? Okay, so if I go here and then I flip, I do a mirror, not a copy, I will just mirror the shape and then load back into the project. It will tell me to override. It's flipped upward. Okay. Right. So the reason this is happening because mullions can be horizontal or they can be vertical. Right. So you need to be cautious. Create a certain shape and then load it into the project and see how it looks like. Right. I need to correct mine. I think I will have to rotate it. And I'll give you some time to do that. Let's load it back into the project. Almost there, sir. If you see it from here, then it looks fine. But according to my project, it should be rotated to the other side. So I'm positioning this center of rotation here and then beginning my rotation from this line all the way like that and keep loading the family like that. So now I get it oriented at least correct according to the project. Let's resume, and I think we want to make this mullion a little bit more realistic. So usually the mullions have a distinctive profile. Where to find the profile of mullions? You go to the manufacturer website and you will find that they can produce any shape. There's like tens of profiles. Okay, so let's assume that I have a mullion that is doing like that. And then I will use a curve from here. And then obviously flip this part or mirror it using the mirror along axis. If I keep the profile like this, I will get an error because there is a gap here, you see. It has to be closed outline, so I'm using trim, TR as a shortcut for trim. And then load into the project. Of course it will override this one here. Right, now I think I will choose this curtain wall. Make sure that the profile has been assigned correct. Make sure that the mullion is sitting correct. For example, you can see how it looks like from the back here. If that's not your intention to look like that, you can go to edit type and you can push it forward and backward. There is an offset value, and it can be positive or negative value. So if I give it minus 15 centimeters, it should move backward. If I make it 15 centimeters offset, it will move to the front. Okay, so adjust the mullion as needed and then apply to the rest of the curtain wall. You can also change the rotation angle. It's not really exciting. Okay, so let's keep it as its default values. And then we can choose this. Please watch me here. I'll give you time to do it. So I'm going to do window selection because sunshades or this kind of profile is not added in every mullion. They are selective. I want you to be comfortable with selecting elements in the 3D. So I'm going to pick these mullions here on the front elevation and then unpin all of them. And then use the filter so that I exclude the wall grid lines, curtain wall grid lines. And switch it with the which one did we call it? Mullion 1. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to give me this. Of course, I can pick this mullion and click on this join. Okay. This little symbol, the plus symbol, allows me to join or disjoin the mullions. Obviously, I can pick even the vertical mullions, مثلا randomly like that. I'm pressing Control in my keyboard and then use the filter, unpin the mullions and also switch it with mullion number 1. So that will give me some sort of additional facade depth. Okay. If you type curtain wall facade, it is becoming an important feature of all modern buildings. Okay. I'm not talking about this طبعا. I'm talking about grid-like facade. Okay, like this one. Okay, you see this example here. These are mullions, but they're just a little bit deeper. You see how they made some nice gesture, or they made a texture to the facade. This is also a curtain wall. This skin of this building is made up of 2 layers. The inside layer is a glass curtain wall, and then the outside layer is a curtain wall, but they switched off the curtain panels. So it's you use the curtain wall to create this louvers, vertical louvers. So there's many nice tricks you can do with the curtain wall. I want you to go ahead and now try it. Let's draw another curtain wall, storefront. I'll put it here, temporary. And change its height. Go from level 1, maybe another 3 floors or 4 floors. Okay, and I will isolate it as a selected element. I'm going to duplicate this curtain wall. I don't want to change the mullions. I want to keep the mullions. So I'll duplicate it, and I will call it louver seawall. Okay, so it's a new type. And then I just need to change the spacing. You see the vertical grid and horizontal grid. It says 24 or 2.4 meters by 1.5. So this is the 2.4, and that's 1.5. So I want to change this spacing and make it every 35 centimeters for the horizontal grid. So I should see more horizontals. Okay. And for the horizontal grid, perhaps the interior type mullion, we can use one of the round mullions. All of them, number 50, which has 50 millimeter radius. I did the opposite, مش كده? That's one of the things. It's hard to see which one is the vertical, which one is the horizontal. So I'm gonna copy this. Keep this as the rectangular. Switch this to the round mullions. I can even highlight this whole name, Control C, and copy it, and then paste it here and paste it here. Okay, so this is now it is transforming to be what we call a sunscreen. Okay. When the mullion spacing becomes intense, it's called louvers or sunscreen. And then behind it you will see the clear glass. So obviously this effect over here, I can now go and be a little bit selective. Let me do a cross window selection here. And another, I press Control to cross window selection. And what's next? Who can tell me? Go to the filter and only select mullions and unpin them, and then press delete in my keyboard. Okay. And then after that I will go to this curtain wall, and in the type you see the curtain panel. Currently it's applying a glass. I will choose empty. add additional segments, you go to curtain grid, and always watch out for additional sub commands. So I can add an all segment, yani if I move my mouse along this mullion, I can add additional segment. Okay? Or I can choose one segment. I can add just one segment here, and then another one over here. So with this way I can create additional sub treatment like that. And of course the grid line is already there. I can choose this curtain grid line, but then add and remove to it. So the add remove button shows up. I can add mullions or remove. Here, add, remove. If I place the mouse on this grid line, why is it not being added? Okay, so by just clicking on the grid line, you can add and remove, and that makes the whole glass panel as one panel. Right, to add wall reveals and sweeps. Let me try it again. I picked the wrong face. لازم اختار الفيس اللي برا, and then switch my 3D view to pick this face, and then press escape. This way we will get the sweep going all the way around. Just like the mullion, a sweep, currently the default one has the default profile اللي هو rectangular. Okay, and I can change its size if needed. But how about this? I don't know if I can load in the profile we did for the mullion. Looks like it doesn't recognize it. So there is a profile family for the reveal. مش كده؟ So I'm going to duplicate this. Let me actually wait. Right. And what's next? Family. We go to new family, and we want to find the metric profile sweep. Actually, let's try the metric profile, the regular one. This is a generic profile. Did you find it? Only called metric profile. Did you find the metric profile? Let me demonstrate here first. So I'll show it here. Let's draw, a circle like that, and then load it into the project. And let's choose the sweep, lower corniche number 3. And then in the profile field, we will assign to it family 2. Right, so I always like to do that to check if there is an error or a problem. I can even draw another, I think another circle from here. Let's see if the program allows for multiple profiles. You see? I didn't get any error. So this is helpful because now I can really create very nice effects. Can you see it here? wall section. Show you the intent. Okay, so I always like to have a plan and a 3D. Now obviously I probably can play much better with this profile. Okay. I can use it to make a canopy, so I'm going to use the curve. And maybe use offset using the pick lines. Let me demonstrate first how to do multiple shapes, and then this will be the last thing. I'm going to use the pick line and then specify an offset of maybe 10 centimeters, 10 cm, and hit enter. That's a lot. Let's make it 5 centimeters. And then trim this line together. And load into the project and overwrite. Okay, so we can still decorate the facade. I can add another wall sweep. I'm just going to add it here. Escape, escape. So you see these little circles? I can make the sweep shorter.